Hello, everybody. And we are live today with When Miracles Speak Testimony Tuesday. And this week, we're going to talk about the little girl who did not know with our special guest, Octavia Stevens. Say hello, Octavia.
Hi, everyone.
And
Welcome,
Samantha.
Octavia. Hey, Tisha, what's up, friend?
I am doing well. You see, I'm over here trying to get all my social media and everything together.
Yep. We gotta take a few minutes to do that real quick
And get everything situated. Yes.
And let everyone come on in, as they say. Have y'all see that whenever someone goes live, they say, "Come on in, come on in."
Come on in,
like,
yeah.
Okay. Now that's how I feel whenever we go live. It's like, come on in. Let's give everyone a few minutes to come on in.
Come on in the room.
There you go. Exactly. Okay, I see you are live, Tisha. So I'm about to go ahead and share this on Facebook. And
now I'm trying to figure out how to get to Octavia.
I don't know the phone at.
Oh, there you go. I got you. Hold
Okay.
on. We getting it. Hey, everybody, y'all come on in. We just trying to get it a little bit better organized because I don't know what I'm doing, but it's okay.
That's all right. You look good doing it, though.
Thank you very much. So, Octavia, I'm really excited that you are on here with us today because I cannot wait until you release your truth and you release your testimony because many are going to be healed, set free, and delivered.
Yes.
I just tagged you, Octavia, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it on Facebook. So we're going to get started and we're just going to go right in because guess what? God is going to do some amazing things tonight. So, Octavia, first and foremost, I want you to
hold on one second. I want to start us off with a scripture. Yeah. I want to start us off with a scripture because I feel like it's fitting for this, and the pre-show conversation that we just had. It's Revelation 12:11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. And it's fitting.
What was it again? Revelations what?
Revelations 12:11. It's something that when I used to give my testimony, I would kind of be nervous to give it. And then I realized it was the enemy trying to keep me from telling my testimony, right? But now I know every time I tell my testimony, like I'm doing something. I'm doing something for the kingdom, and I got the enemy shaking in his boots. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I love that scripture. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but go ahead, Octavia. Go ahead and tell everyone about yourself.
What you was gonna say, Letitia?
So I know your testimony, not a lot of it, but I want to first talk about what it is that you do now as an entrepreneur, and I want to talk about life after the sentence because that's very important, especially in today's timing. So, what is it that it does? What is it that you do, and who is it that your organization targets?
Okay, and I love the rename. I love the rename. I've told her I was like, it's not life after the sentence. After the sentence.
And I keep saying life after the sentence.
But it's true. It's true.
But what is it called?
After the sentence.
Okay. She gave you a title for something else.
Yes, I don't call it life after the sentence. Yeah.
That may be the new name because, when people hear after the sentence, they immediately think about prisons and jails. And that's what's the target women coming home from prison. Our mission is to restore the balance between women and children after incarceration. And so that's what we're targeting. And I started after the sentence in 2019, and everyone knows that COVID came 2020 full blast. To a halt. We never really got to launch. We really never really got to do much. But we're still here. I still have the 501c3, and we're helping people as I speak. I know because I don't post anything, people think that we're not doing nothing, but we are still doing things in the community. It's just probably not as much. I've just got with a guy named Tori Sapp to write inmates, juveniles at the detention center. So I do that. I write young girls and give them hope. I just did my background check to try to go in the detention center, the juvenile detention center, to talk with the young women. So, little things, I have to start slow because everybody know that I'm a gap. My name is Octavia Stibbins, and I am a grandmother as a parent. So this
Wow.
right now what I'm doing, and I'm just taking it slow. So I have to get my home in order before I can try to help people in the community. If I don't have this good straight, I can't help no one. So I'm not in no rush. I'm being patient. God is being patient with me, and I know that I have everything that I cried for. It's a miracle that I'm even here speaking with you all today from my testimony. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
I'm happy. So yeah, that's what we doing. And yeah.
So we're gonna
Wow.
get right into it, Octavia. So let's discuss how you came up with after the sentence, because that's the part where it's like nothing like that come just on a random, on a fly.
No,
Like you ain't
not at
just wake
all.
up and say, "Oh, let me discuss after the sentence." Okay, well, how did you come up with this? Like, let's take that journey.
And I'm gonna be honest too. And I don't know if I ever told this story. I think this will be the first platform that I share this story with. After the sentence came from my daughter, Jatavia. Okay, JT. So everyone knows that their album was named Period, right? So what come after a sentence?
Okay, time out for
That
those that are like me. Okay, because remember, I did not know who JT was, Octavia. So you gonna have to talk like maybe they don't
But
know who
oh, but
JT is.
it's not even about
It's
JT.
not, but
It's
you know,
it's
like you mentioned her, and it's just like okay,
yeah.
so who
Okay.
is that? Yeah.
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 So my daughter is one of the city girls. JT from the City Girls. Well, now it's City Cinderella because she's solo. Anyway, when they made their first album called Period, okay, I heard her talking with someone, and she was saying, when I get out of, and that's when she was in bed, she was like, when I get out, I want our next album to be called After the Sentence. Because what come after a sentence?
Period.
Yes.
Oh,
Ah, that's so good. I
wow.
loved it.
Oh, and so that's how I came up with that name. And so I wanted to, I had all kind of names, and I wanted to start a nonprofit so bad because when I came home from prison, excuse me, when I came home from prison, I went to Beauty for Ashes, which my right now my pastor, my mentor, my because she had a nonprofit, and when I came home to Beauty, it was called Beauty for Ashes. When I came home, I went there, and I just loved the work that she was doing. She was helping women come home because I didn't have no support. Okay. I didn't have one. And that is women coming home from prison with no support. You're going to end up back in the streets. You're going to end up back to what you was doing. So I wanted to start something to coincide with Beauty for Ashes to help the women. So she will be the halfway house, and I will be. We are a resource center. That's what we do. We give them resources. We give them clothing, food, whatever that they need. We have vouchers for whatever, and we will be the resource center. So that's what After the Sentence was created.
Wow. That's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, and so that's why I wanted to help women like me because I did want to change, and you do want to change. People get out, and you don't have nowhere to turn. When you go back to your family, they're doing the same thing.
It's a
Just
cycle.
you change don't mean that they changed.
Yeah,
That's
and you
true.
could fall back into that cycle. So with this, how do you get your funding?
I had been funding it myself. God had been helping, fund it. I just used, like I said, I was starting where I was at, using what I had. I wasn't really trying to, do the grants and things because, like I said, when I started, I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to help. I'm a server. I don't know. Like my heart is I just want to help everybody. I want to serve. I want to do this. I'll use mine. And it didn't matter. But I start learning that it's a better way. Like you can get grants, you can get help. There are people out there that will help you. There are people out there that will, you know, um what's the word that will, oh, it's right there. But there's people out there that will give you help,
They'll
will help.
support you. Yeah.
And so now I know all of this, so it's just the point of getting um
The resources.
yeah, thank you, getting the resources, and just waiting on God to, move in, because like I say, right now I'm a stay-at-home gap grandmother as a parent, and these children are young, so they're my main focus.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So how many babies are you taking care of?
I have four right now. It's a 7-year old, a 3-year old, a 1-year old, and a 5-month old.
So I can imagine the, I don't want to say struggle, but for lack of a better word, the struggle that you go through
Yeah.
trying to juggle all of that.
Yes, I wouldn't call it a struggle at all. I was explaining to Letitia that this is everything that I prayed for. We get what we pray for, and then we go to praying for something else. Then we want something else. Then we want something else. But we have to look at where we come from and remember, like, oh my goodness, I prayed for this because I
Yeah.
didn't have my kids.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into that. Now we're gonna get into that. So this is like your second chance, right? So let's talk about that because we have so many believers that have passed where your mother didn't necessarily raise you, or you weren't able to raise your kids for whatever reason, but life was just busting you up, and it's just like you lived the life, and now you're in a different place in your life, and God's giving you that do over. You see what I'm saying? He's giving you that second chance, and it's like, but how did we get to the gap, right? How did we get here? How did we get to after the sentence, like the journey that got you there?
Right, right. So, like I say, my mom was a drug addict. My grandmother was an alcoholic, and I would cry as a little girl. I would say, "I'll never be like that. I'll never leave my kids out there," because we was over town in Miami. Y'all know I'm from Miami, and over town, like, is one of the worst areas in Miami. If y'all know Miami, and
Mm.
we would I remember when my mom, when the crack epidemic first came to I guess the whole America, but to Miami, and my mom got a hold of it. Shoot, we didn't see my mama for days. We were locked out on the porch. We were sleeping on the porch. We was hungry.
Oh man.
It was like really bad, and I remember crying, 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 and promising that I would never do my kids like that. But we all know it was just a vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how old were you during this time?
Between 9 and 10, because I'm the oldest of my mom kids. So it was like me, and then I have a sister that's behind me. I have a brother and a baby brother. So what my mom used to do, she would get pregnant, and then, like I said, cycle. My sister was raised up here because she was gave to my aunt and them up here. My brother, me and him was together, the one after my sister. So it be me and him locked out. Then I have a baby brother that had just came. And he used to be there with no diapers. So when we were in the house, we had the baby, and it was just crazy. I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm 9. I'm 9 years
Right,
old.
right.
Um, and he don't have Pampers. He don't have food. We don't have food. And so that went on for a couple of years. And finally, if you want me to move on to the next part of, how we came out, but that's what happened with my mom, with the crack. She started smoking crack,
Right.
left us out there.
Okay, and so again, that childhood is rough. So unless this miraculous thing happened, you began unintentionally to mimic the behavior that you saw. So you may not have been on it, but it again, it was something that you were still drawn to that because that's what you knew. So now you're a teenager. Let's say you're a teenager, 11, 12, 13, you're up. Now what does that look like?
Oh no, oh no, it don't didn't go there. Like about like a year later, probably like 10. That lasted at least a year because she did have a guy friend, an older man. I'll never forget. That she would call and he would come. He was like one of her. I guess they call it sugar daddies or whatever like
Yeah.
that. And he would feed us, he would give her money, I guess, whatever. And we called him one day, one night. Matter of fact, it was at night. And I never forget, we called him because we was outside and we was like tired, hungry. We didn't, we had used all our resources in the community because we went to everybody's house. Like, people would help us because
Right.
in the neighborhood. So I'm not gonna say that we like starved and like that because we had people that will a house. They'll be like, well, y'all could just, I got some bread and some, something for y'all to eat or some sandwiches or something like that. But I remember calling him this night and my brother right there beside me. And we at the phone booth, I never forget. And we made a collect call because that's back then you could dial zero.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was
I
back when there were telephone booths.
never
Yeah.
it, baby. And we dialed his number, and just as sure he answered and he came and got us.
Oh wow.
Believe it or not, that was just the end. I feel like that was the end for me because, yeah, I thought it was a good thing, but I was a prey. He was preying on me. I was a little girl,
Yeah.
a little,
Yeah.
and
I was
so
hoping that's not what that was going to lead to. I was hoping that that was a happy ending, but of
mm,
course it can't be because that's why we're here today, right?
the little girl who didn't know. Yep, and so
So
he.
where did things go after that? Where did your life what turn did your life take next?
Oh, like I said, I didn't get a chance to grow up. I didn't get a chance to say my first boyfriend. I didn't get a chance to play with dolls and be a little girl. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance. So my life just um got, I was hot. I was like it was like I was
I mean, if you honestly think about it, that's what happened to a lot of us. When you're violated, when you're molested or you're raped, because those are two different things. Molestation means somebody just touched you.
Yep.
Rape means they don't went all the way. They don't took some stuff that did not belong to them, which is your innocence. So
Yep.
your innocence had already started being taken away because you were raising kids when you were 9 years old, trying to figure out how to change pampers, how to feed. So now you're having the responsibility of an adult. And then a grown man decide, because that's what grown man told me, and I was like 3. And he said, I'm gonna teach you how to play mom and daddy. So that's basically what happened. So now here you are trying to navigate this thing, and you're gonna use the one thing that was taken from you to get that attention, because that's what it equates to. I needed
Yep.
something. I called him. He took something from me. So clearly, this is what I got to do
To
to get what
survive.
it is that I need. And so people will start saying you fast and she hot in the behind, but how you was just 8, just a little innocent kid playing with dolls, and now you're 9 and you're twisting. But nobody want to put that stuff together. They just want to automatically blame the victim. Nobody
Yep.
don't want to look at, wait a minute, now this baby was just around here playing with doll babies, and now she popping and twisting. Well,
Right.
something took place,
Let's see what happened to cause that.
and they don't do that. And a lot of times that's how the victim end up being victimized again, because nobody took the time to say that's a dramatic shift. I mean,
Yeah.
let's not even talk about how you're 9 taking care of kids. We're not going to even talk about
Right.
that. How
Right.
you're 9 and you're trying to deal with the trauma of your mama being MIA because she done got caught in this epidemic.
Yep.
Again, through no necessarily no fault of her own. Just this thing was here. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. And then it just took her away from, life and family. So as you're realizing that, again, based on what people would say, you're being fast and hot in the tail, where was that leading you to? Like, what was that life leading you into?
I know for one thing, he didn't do it like he did it in a good way, like an older man way. I don't know how to explain it, but it led me to not even like boys my age now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
For these men. Because these men, look, he gave me $2. You know, back in the day, you know, $2 the candy lady house, baby. $2 you.
My grandma was the candy lady. Yes.
Oh,
So you know how much
Lord.
$2? And so he would give me after he finished touching me or whatever, he would give me, you know, $3. You and your brother go get something from the store. And you know, I'm laughing, you know, and I always laughed. And like I was explaining earlier, like I had to keep that laugh to keep from hurting and crying. So my he would give me money and he taught me how to drive, he taught me how to cook. He taught me a lot. He even sung Jesus song like, yes, Jesus loves me. That's where we learned that song from. Me and my brother, he would sing us Jesus songs. You hear
So
me?
he taught you to drive. He taught you to cook. How long did this go on for?
So okay, so I was like 9 or 10. So like until I was like 11 or 12, because I ran away, and this time I went to my dad's mom house. I went to my grandmother on my dad's side. I went to my aunties them, and that's how my aunties them raised me, because I ran away from him, and I went, you know, on my dad's side of the family, because like I say, my mom was gone, and my grandmother, she was raising us. But I have another aunt. My mom had a sister. So my aunt was in the military at that time. So she needed my grandma to come with her kids for a little while. And so she left us. She
Oh,
left, and that was um she beat herself up for that for like a long time, because you know, we needed her.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
And like my mama wasn't doing that before she left, so she thought we was in good hands. I
yeah.
was
Of course.
I could say that my mom was doing something like smoking weed or quaaludes back then. They was taking those pills, but that was the most, because my mom was good. Like before that, she met up with people and started smoking and stuff. You know, we seen our mom. You know, she would play cards with her friends at the house or whatever, but we knew where our mom was. Um,
Right.
but my grandma was there the whole time. But when my grandma left, you know, everything broke out. But the man, that went on till like I ran away, and I like was like 12. Um, and so just like 1 or 2 years. But after that though, it was up. I mean, you know, I was oh my God.
Because the seed had been sown, it
Yeah.
had been watered, it had been planted and watered, and it was producing what the trauma wanted to produce, which was, well, he ain't really doing nothing bad because he took care of us, he took
Yeah.
care of me, he taught me how to cook, he taught me how to clean, and he introduced me to stuff you shouldn't have been introduced to, and yet and still,
The
that's
damage
still
was done.
traumatic.
And the damage was done.
I,
Yeah,
something I say, you know, because you know, now you being taught you don't get something for nothing.
yeah,
Like I
yep,
had one to help make sure me and my brother eat, make sure me and my brother had somewhere to sleep, make sure me and my brother would, you know. So I had to be the big sister.
yep.
I couldn't cry. I couldn't tell nobody, because then we ain't got nowhere to go. Then we don't have nowhere to stay. You know. And
And
so
you didn't want to lose that, because it wasn't just you. It was your little brother also, and
that,
you're in that protective parental role now.
yes,
Right.
So
yes,
you're in multiple roles and positions that you had no business being in
right.
ever. So now you're with your dad's side of the family. So how are things then? Take us to the next step.
I feel like my auntie. I have one auntie. Like she kind of knew. She was like, um, something going on with you, because, and she was like, it's been going on. She knew that I was kind of hot, because like when I, you know, they got me in school. They took me, like they took me. They put me in school. They, you know, changed my school and everything, because I was going to another school. But when I got with them, they took me, and they took me in. But she knew it was something different about me. She knew that I was sexual active, but she couldn't really put her finger on it. It ain't like she like took me to the doctor or tried to make
Right.
sure. It ain't like she asked me and kept, you know, asking me till I tell. But I never told nobody ever. And then when I was like 21 or 22, after I had my first child at 19, um,
Okay.
on my birthday. But it was like when I met my second baby daddy. that I told him that what happened to me, but I had never shared it. I had held that and held that, and then
Wow.
I finally told me and him was together for like 10 years because he was with me while I was pregnant with Octavia, my firstborn. But I would never tell no. I never told on that man ever. And then I finally just, I think it was, I had started using. Yeah,
Okay.
it was because I was high, and I just, I'll get high, and then I just started expressing myself and talking and stuff like that, and just following in my mom's footsteps, something that I never wanted to do, that I said that I would never do. So don't never say never. It's just like it was a pattern, and it was so hereditary. I had talked to one lady one time, and she was like, "It's in your genes." She was like, "It's not you." You know,
Generational curse.
yes, it was so embedded in me. And when we talk about kids, we don't do, the kids do what they see you do. Like they want to be like mom, like they
Yeah.
don't like Mike, and we all know that. So and then like I wanted to do what she was doing, but it was just so in me. And
Now, did you not say anything about what happened with him because you were like, I mean, were you embarrassed, which there was no reason to be, or did you feel like you had to protect him?
no, because I felt like wasn't nothing wrong with it. That's how sad it was. That was
Because he making it look like they're in a relationship. Think about it. He teaching her how to drive. He teaching her how to
Yeah.
cook. So he confusing the two roles with being a dad
Yeah.
because he got them somewhere they staying there. He teaching them how to this stuff your daddy do. Teach you how to drive. Teach you how to
True.
cook. But then he also doing this other preferred thing. So if I don't make it seem like it's a bad thing
Mm.
wait, missed the part giving you money.
and giving you money.
So
Yeah.
now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and cause listen, after that, he still used to come and find me, like, will meet me on like back roads. Like out after this, I was hot. Now I was hot in the butt, and so he would meet me. He would come drive around. He knew where my daddy, them grandma, he knew where they stayed. So that didn't stop right there. You know what I'm saying? It continued because I could get that little money. You know what I'm saying? Now my
Okay.
now this is what, you know what I'm saying. So I couldn't mess up my money.
Mm.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay, so it didn't stop just because you left out of his house.
right. He came and found, I'm a young girl, he old, and he was, when I tell you, I think he was in his 50s at that time when I was like 9 or 10. Like he was in his 50s, he was old. And people look at me now and be like, it's embedded in me. She was that old. Like I don't like it no other way. It's
Wow.
and
So are you saying that your husband now is older than you?
he's about to be 70.
Wow. Okay. Do you think that's because of what you went through?
I know it. I know it. I didn't have a chance to know, to
Anything else?
I didn't know. I didn't know. The little girl that did not know. And then when I did figure it out, it was already there, and I didn't see nothing wrong. And the older men treat you good. Like I don't know. I never really had no problems with them. Like,
I noticed because you said when he started doing things for you, he did it in a good way.
yeah. Even the part to, breaking me down. He did it smooth and slow. And when I would say ow or whatever, he would stop. So
So,
Wow.
yeah.
wow.
Wow. Wow, because they don't understand. That's a predator. Like he was
Yes.
a professional at what he did.
But yeah,
He
He
knew
knew what he
exactly
was
what he
doing.
was doing. Those are predators. Those are dangerous people. What those are predators because he knew that if I don't do it right, she gonna run. She gonna leave. So I'm gonna
She's gonna get
manipulate
scared.
her into thinking that this is that I care about her, that she's the one that and then I'm gonna make sure I provide for her because I know she need different things, and I'm gonna use that to stay connected to her.
Wow. Wow.
Man,
So now
wow.
at this point, you said that you're with your second child's father for about 10 years.
yeah,
You
that was
ex you
one of the longest relationships I've ever been in. It was
eh,
toxic, and me and him at the same age too. Yeah.
okay, and you told him what happened to you, confided in him. So now where are we at in your testimony?
I know. I told him so. like I said, I had started using. So like I was doing what my mom was doing with my kids. Like I had my first child, I had my second child, then I had a third child. Believe it or not, I was pregnant in between my kids. I had died twice. I took a and I was with my baby daddy, and you could say I was trying to commit suicides because I procrastinated. Like I was pregnant, and I was telling him I'm pregnant, and I knew it wasn't his, because we was talking, we had to talk. Like I was on drugs, so I'd be out doing what I was doing, come back home or whatever, and I didn't think the baby was his. Matter of fact, I knew the baby wasn't his, and I didn't want to have the baby. But he didn't care about that. One thing about it, he loved me, and he's like, just have this last baby, and we'll figure it out. Like I don't want it, but I waited and did this for like 4 or 5 months. Then I took some pills, called quinine. I don't know if y'all ever heard those.
What happened?
Okay, well look it up whenever you get a chance. But I took those because in Miami they have a drugstore that you can buy whatever, penicillin, quinine, and we used Humphrey 11. That was the one that people go to to abort babies. So we did it.
So,
We had a way that we do it. Like Miami, yeah, we had a remedy for everything, and we had a drugstore that give you the remedy for anything.
oh
So
wow.
stuff gonna abort the baby, but the baby was already developed.
Right,
Now
right.
this is my second time doing this because I was pregnant right after my oldest, and I took them, but I was just like 1 month. I knew when I missed my period, I was like, "Oh, I'm pregnant," and I took the quinine, and the baby, I watched it drop in the toilet. So I'm supposed to have 5 kids in all, and so I watched that fetus drop, but I was just 1 month. But this time I went to do it. God said, "I'm gonna show you something," and I I bled eternal for, oh my God, like weeks because I
Oh,
could I knew I was telling him I'm dying. I'm dying, babe. I'm dying. Like, I was dehydrated. Give me some water. Give me some milk. And he was like, mm-mm, because I told you don't take those pills to have this baby. And he thought I was just like playing, but you know your body and you know when.
right.
And when I tell you, I died twice. My auntie, they told my auntie to, my dad's side, my aunt, to prepare my funeral. That I wasn't gonna live. Um, yeah, cold blue twice.
So
Twice.
now, so let's break it down. So you ended up going to the hospital at some point.
Oh yeah, I called the ambulance because he wouldn't take me because he was like, "Yeah, go on and die." Because I told you don't take those pills because he
Mhm.
didn't think that I was, you know,
Serious.
yeah. And I'm like, "Babe, please," like, and so you remember back in the days when your phone off, you still could call 911.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that still work now for
Yeah.
yeah. So that was the only thing saved me. And them people said if I wouldn't have called them when I did, I would have been gone. Because soon as they got, and they thought that I could walk. They thought I was playing too. When the ambulance got there, girl, I was stripping out of my clothes. I was butt naked, and he kept putting on my clothes, saying that the ambulance coming. Put on your clothes. I was like, I can't. I'm hot. Like I
Mm.
like I like I can't. And they was like, could you walk? I was like, no, I can't. I can't. I can't. And everybody just thought I was just playing. But as soon as they got me there, they was like, if y'all wouldn't have got her there when you did, it was over with. And like I said,
My
my
God.
said she's gone. Like I was just like a listen. This is a whole like right here. This is I know that I'm a miracle because
Absolutely.
listen, when I got there, I died. They cut me open. I have a scar from here to here. They cut me open, and they didn't even know what sex the baby was because the baby did what it was supposed to do. It blew up. It blew up to where they didn't even know, like I say, what it was. The next time I died was I choked because all of the stuff that I was drinking, I was telling him, give me juice, give me water, give me milk, because I was dehydrated and nothing wouldn't stay on my stomach. I was throwing it up, throwing it up. But when I got to the hospital, I threw up and they say I choked on my own secretion. Now, I don't
Jesus.
know that long word, so they had to say it.
Yeah.
So So they say you choke. I choked the second time when it was cold blue. I died twice, and they cold blew me again. And so they just kept me there. They say I had tubes everywhere. You could still see the scars where I had tubes like everywhere. And I think this scar right here is a result of it too, because after that I started having heart problems, and I know it was nothing wrong with my heart. It come from that happening with the quinine and everything.
Right, right.
I died twice, and yes, I was like 22. I was
Whew.
like I was like it was in 98. I never forget, because
Now,
my last child was born in 96. Go ahead, Samantha.
so now with something, because that's traumatizing. But so when you came out of that, when you got out of the hospital, did you think, I have to get myself together now? Like, I can't go through this again? Or were you still, because you were using, were you just like, on to the next? You were unfazed?
Unbothered. I went straight head first. Like I was about this small. But I can't leave out. I can't leave out in the hospital. I can't leave out what happened, how God brought me out of the hospital.
Okay.
I have to tell this.
Please, please do.
So in the hospital, now I'm on every tube. Now I can't eat. I can't talk. They got tubes in my mouth and my the catheter. They got I mean, I'm every tube that they got it in me. Okay. And I was in ICU. I'll never forget. And ICU is when you're on your last leg. That's where all like the old people at that,
The really sick people.
that's really not really gonna make it. And I remember being in ICU and just crying, tears falling because I couldn't talk because the tubes was in my mouth, and I would write down stuff, and I knew that I didn't want to go out like this. I just cried. And I remember two ladies coming. You know how people come and pray over you, and
Hmm.
volunteers just come through the hospital.
Yeah.
And I remember these two black ladies. They came through there, and they would come, and they was like, "You're so young." I tell you, I was like 20, had to be like 23, 24, and they was like, "You so young. Why are you here?" And I would write and tell them what happened to me. Where's your mom? Where's your dad? So I would write it down. Um, and they would just come every day. They didn't miss a day. Come praying for me, praying over me, praying over me. So finally, they moved my room. I never forget. It was doctors. They was. I don't think. I don't even think I had insurance at this time. But God was showing me that they were going to kill me because that's what my chart said. Like, not going to make it. Like, they had told my people prepare her.
Oh,
So they was definitely going to let me die. They definitely was trying to, because I was running up. If you're in a hospital, if anybody know you're in a hospital and you don't have insurance or no money to pay, you're running up a bill.
yep.
They're going to give you the best treatment. And God began to reveal this to me. And I died. So I might as well say I died 3 times, because the third time I had died is when I saw the light. Is when He showed me what they were going to do to me.
Oh,
I know when you're on tubes, you're strapped down, right? You,
okay.
they have all that stuff on you because people tend to pull it out when they, So I'm strapped up, and I remember seeing a bright light. It was like I was dancing outside. What I saw, I don't know if, if I was in heaven or where I was, but I didn't see no Jesus. I didn't see no face. I just saw a bright light, and I was dancing in some flowers, and it was so pretty. And it was like He was talking to me. He was saying, "I'm gonna let you live this time, but remember, you took a life." Um,
Oh,
like that life. Kids are a blessing. Like you don't you don't take a life. He said, "You took that life, and now I could take yours." He said, "But I'm not going to take your life." And it's like I could hear it. I
yeah.
could hear it. And but I'm out, and it's this beautiful, beautiful. It was so beautiful, and like I say, the light was just so bright. And when I came to, I was out the scraps.
Okay.
So now the I done pulled everything out. I'm talking and everything. Cause like I told y'all, everything was in my
Whew.
mind. So now all I see like seven, I tell y'all no lie. In this, if if I'm lying, Lord knows. I see like seven doctors around me, like they panicking. Cause what? How you got all
Right.
crap? And I woke up and I was like, God told me to do it. I can breathe. I can talk. Oh my God. Please. And I started crying.
Jesus.
I started crying. I started saying, please don't put it back in me. I'm talking about that stuff in my like
Yeah.
this hurt. And I'm like, please, please, I'm hungry. I want to eat. Please, I don't need it. Please. And then it was a girl I never forget. The girl was like one of those the ones who trying to be a nurse or a doctor that come in.
Yes, DNA.
Yeah, and so we would always talk. And I started calling her because she was standing there like she couldn't believe what was going on. And she was looking at me and I was crying. I was reaching my hand out for her. I say, I thought you said you love me. Please help
Oh,
me. Please help me. And she was like, I can't do nothing. She was like, oh my
oh,
God. And I'm like, please, please. And I'm just asking for help, help. So now these people, when I tell you God said he will give you strength, I'm fighting with these people. I promise you, it's like doctors everywhere because they was like, she done lost her mind. Like she can't be off of these tools. But I
right, right.
say, God did it. I say, please, but I can breathe. I can talk. Please. And they got me back down because I was fighting. Oh my goodness. When I tell you he will give you strength, I was fighting. It took all of them. All of the ones was there. They was doing whatever they can and they was had to tussle with me. And I
Wow.
was but I ran out of breath. Like I said, I was like this small. I had lost so much weight. I think been in a coma for a month, like a whole month. And
Wait, wait, wait. You were in a coma?
yeah, I was in ICU.
So while you were in ICU, you were in a coma.
I was in a coma, but
Oh,
because I knew I could, I knew what was going on around me, but like I wasn't talking. And when
mhm.
I was out, I remember not seeing nothing. Like I said, I was gone,
Wow.
gone. And when I came to is when I seen, like I didn't know what had happened.
Yeah.
I didn't know what had happened. And so it took all of them. They was fighting me and like not really fighting me, but tussling
Yeah.
with because they had to tussle with me because I didn't want that back in me. I didn't want that back in me. So I finally remember letting go and they put the tools back in me. They strapped me back down. Let me tell y'all something. This time I was woke. As soon as them people left out their room, this time I'm woke. They thought they had them, got me back right. This time I'm woke now. I don't know, but I know God. I got out this scraps again. This time I'm woke and I'm pulling.
Mm.
I can see the blood like on the
Oof.
tube, and I'm pulling like I'm pulling, and I'm pulling and I'm pulling for days. This time I pulled it out me.
Mm.
Do you know when them people came back in there, they went to like, oh, they really thought I had done lost my mind. They called security. It was like so many people in there, like around
Oof.
me. And I remember them trying to just figure out what was going on. Cause like, how she keep getting out these scraps?
Right.
Now, and I had told them before, like God had told me to do it, but this time I'm not trying to convince them. I know what He told me. Like He was like, they're gonna kill you if you don't get out of here right now. Like if you don't like get out these, it showed them that they was getting ready to really take me out. And
Oh.
bottom line, so this lady was coming through. I never forget. She was a black lady, an older lady with a bun. She had a bun. Remember when the buns was just coming out?
Oh
I
yeah.
She was walking by. Okay, she was walking by with a patient, with a doctor and a patient. But I looked at her, and in ICU everything open. So while they over there fighting me, and trying to get me back, I seen her. God made me see her. Like,
Okay.
because everything going on, I could see her. So I
Right.
was like, ma'am. Why? I'm telling you, only God. Ma'am, please come here, ma'am. Because she looked like she had a little authority. Because she had on this
Okay.
like a skirt set, but she was a little older lady and she walking with a doctor with a patient. And she was like, well, what's going on over there? I could see her facial expression like, you know. But she was like, hold on, let me, do what I'm doing. She couldn't just stop with me. She was with the doctor and a patient. They reeling somebody else to another room, you know.
Okay.
So I'm laying there and I'm still wrestling with them. But I'm telling you, he put everything that needed to be in place in place. This lady came back when she did come back after, they had the security. I'm trying to grab scissors at the doctors. You know how they have the stethoscope and the scissors.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grab stuff, baby, because I'm trying to stab. I'm trying to fight for my life. Because at this point, I'm fighting for my life because they just told me that I'm not gonna make it, and
Yeah.
and I am gonna make it. But anyway, the lady came back and she was like, "Well, what's going on?" And I'm so tired, y'all. I was like, ma'am, please help me, ma'am. She was like, help. And she started asking everyone around me. And they was like, oh, she's going crazy. She pulled the tooth out. She can't be off the tooth. She don't supposed to be, she can't breathe on her own. And you know how they have those bubble things. They was like, she need to suck the bubbles up, like,
Uh,
and her to get off they're telling her
yeah.
that. So she came to me. They hadn't told her everything. Like, I'm losing my mind. I don't supposed to be off the tubes. I can't do none of that. And she say, ma'am, what's wrong? Ain't nothing, ma'am. I don't want a Mimi no more. I don't want the tubes in me no more. She said, do you know where you're at? I said, yes, Parkway Regional Hospital. At that time, it was Parkway in Miami on 441. I'll never forget. I said, yes, ma'am, Parkway Regional Hospital. She said, do you know what happened? I said, yes, ma'am, I lost my baby. I said, and I bled. And she was like, do you know what president is? And I said, yes, ma'am. I told her everything. She said, and what's your name? I gave her my full. She was like, she don't seem like she crazy to me.
Right.
She
Right.
like she's well aware of what's going on. She know what's happening. She said, y'all put the monitors on her chest. Don't put the tubes back in her. Just see how she do. So they put those patches, the patches to monitor
Yeah.
your.
Yeah.
They put no. Listen.
Wow.
Think about a couple of days, week later, not even, because they was ready to get me out of there anyway.
Yep. Yep.
About a week later, that I think I was being discharged. And did I ever go back? They called my auntie phone because they couldn't get in touch with me and said, tell her life is not out of danger. Listen, from that minute on, listen, I went back out there head first. Samantha, to answer your question, I asked my auntie, girl, I was about this skinny. Where's that girl? Who got it?
Wow.
And so, just so we clear, even though you done died twice in this hospital,
Free. Cause
God done gave three times, thrice.
yes,
God done gave you a miracle. You still went back out there on that stuff because, again, the heart of a man, and on top of that, it's a substance abuse type of thing too. So you're
Yep.
not just battling your flesh; you're battling like, okay, this monster is telling me you still want to smoke it, you still want to get it, and so it overrides because again this is what you know. This has been your life.
Yep. It overrides your judgment. In this
Girl.
case, it just was overriding everything.
Yeah.
yes, I'm still young. Like I was listen, I was young. I was like I told y'all, I was in '98. So now, come on, man. I had just like had this was my fifth pregnancy. It was just, and I don't think I started like drugs back, and I think that's a good thing because all of my friends was doing it like back like 10, 11, 12, 13. I didn't start getting high that young because I looked at my mom and I knew I didn't want to do it, but then I was curious about that. That's how I started on drugs. I was curious why my mom did us like that, why my mom left us, what made her, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah. So
act.
where were your kids during this time while you were just out there?
Yeah, so my daughter was with her dad, my oldest daughter. My son was in the Virgin Islands because that's where the guy who I was telling y'all I was with, he's from the Virgin Islands. So his mom them had my son, which was his son, and I don't even know if I had my daughter. She was to this girl. We grew up together. I call her my sister. Her name is Nina. Shout out to my sister. She wanted to adopt her. She wanted her. But I was like, this is my last baby. I ain't gonna give her up. So she was with her at the time. So they was all spread it out how we was as
Oh.
people. Yep.
Wow.
How
And
we
that's the generational cycle.
yeah.
That's
So
what.
now, yeah, yeah. So because they were spread out like that, what type of relationship do they have now that they're adults? Are
Um
they with each other? Are they close?
they yeah, my kids are close, and God just answered one of my prayers because I hadn't been with all three of my kids at once. I don't even remember. Like I couldn't even remember because they was all spread it out and I was doing my thing. And I had been praying, but we was all together just this past I think it was in March.
Oh,
March.
nice.
And he gave me my wish because that was my goal. But you never know life. You know how life been. But I wanted to be with my kids one more time all together. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
not that we
Look
got
at God.
what we wanted to do, but we was all together. And we took a picture, and I cherish that picture. Matter of fact, it's on my screensaver. I just want to remember that. But yeah, they got a good relationship. They talk to each other. I have, like I said, I have my oldest daughter. She's very busy working all the time, and then I have one that, like how I follow my mama. I got one that babies I have. She's we praying for her. She come out. So she's
No,
following.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you end up incarcerated and how long were you incarcerated?
But believe it or not, I will always go to jail for paraphernalia. Yeah, they ain't gonna get the stuff. I'm sorry, they ain't gonna get the stuff. They gonna get the paraphernalia, and but I think that the judge knew that this is a woman that needs help, and she would just automatically. I didn't even score out to prison. Like I had a lady one time and a guy one time, but it was God. It was God. Because jail, I'll tell anybody, jail is not a bad place. That's why it's called under arrest. Under arrest because you're gonna get your rest. You're gonna yeah, under arrest. I never
Wow.
it saved my life, y'all, so many times. So many times. And yeah, I'm gonna say God, it sure wasn't I don't feel like we could do nothing. Is nothing gonna come? Is nothing happen by accident?
Right.
Yeah. So he knew what I needed, and like I've been to prison twice, but I would go to jail every year, like once a year. I would go to jail, probably driving with no, it's just petty stuff,
Right.
and so that's how I ended up there, and
So how
so
long were you in prison for those two times?
the same time each 21 months. They would give me 21 months each time, so I would do like 18 months off 21 months. Yep.
So with everything that you just told us, because that was a lot, at what point did God just snatch you out of all of it? Like when did you give your life to him and how?
Right. Okay. So this last time I went to prison, I remember I came home in 2013. And I came out and I was looking for, and believe it or not, I went from cocaine to start smoking crack. And I was looking for some crack. I got out in 2013. And I was trying to, still get high, even though I told you I went to the program, to Duty for Ashes, and I would sneak and be doing things. Let me tell you about God. But it wasn't no crack no more. It was Molly.
Mm.
Oh,
Uh-oh. We're,
It was
okay.
Molly. Y'all can hear
Wow.
me?
yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
It's probably
Okay,
you got a
because
phone call.
my screen froze and Samantha.
Okay.
But anyway, it wasn't no crack out there no more. And people were asking me, man, you smoke crack? You smoke crack? And I was like, yeah, I don't want no Molly. And they was like, well, that's all we got. Let me tell you, that wasn't nothing but God. Cause crack was like that's true, crack is whack. And that used to take me places that I knew I wasn't. And it wasn't how I was wanted to live my life. And so the Molly made me uh it gave me power. Like I felt like I could handle the Molly. You know, you don't want nothing that's gonna handle you. You want to do stuff that you feel like you can handle. And I felt like I could
Mm.
handle the Molly better than the crack did. But I didn't stay on it. I didn't stay on it. Like I said, I went to prison right as I started smoking crack. I went to prison, so I wasn't on it long. It wasn't even 6 months. I was smoking it, and when I got out, it wasn't no more. I'm telling you, God had done rearranged that thing.
Phew.
I did not smoke it for long, and then the Molly came, and you know that Molly makes you hallucinate. So it make you think that people are out to get you. It make you think people are trying to kill you. It just makes you hallucinate. And I didn't listen. I was calling the police on myself. I just stopped, guys. I just stopped. I didn't want to die. Like I felt like people was gonna kill me. People was out
So you
like
just
watching
stopped.
me.
Wait a minute. So you
I
just
can't hear
stopped.
you.
So you just stopped.
I cannot. I don't know. That call messed up my phone. Messed up my
Uh-oh.
live.
Oh, she probably can. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Let me see.
Maybe
Hmm.
she leaves and comes back
There you
in.
go.
That's what
There.
you
Okay,
can hear me.
you hear us now?
Yes. There you go.
So you
Okay.
just completely. So you just stopped on your own.
Did a listen. I did a three
Now, how many years has this been?
seven, 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 seven. So I've been married 7 years. Okay, listen. As soon as I stopped, I stopped 7 years ago. In December, I remember because I was like, I'm just gonna do it for my birthday. I didn't even get a chance to do it for my birthday, and that was in 2016, in December, and it was December 1st. I went to Appalachia Center, because I had done went crazy. Listen, it was serious, and I was like I was gonna do it for my birthday, but I ended up going to Appalachia December 1st, and they kept me in there. And I remember all these people looked at like people that was out there hurt me. Like they just looked like they didn't belong there. Because I used to go to Appalachia all the time to just rest. When I want to rest and eat and lay down, I would go to Appalachia. That was my place. Everybody knew me there. Like they was my friends at Appalachia. Because I go there because I turn myself in. I go there and say I'm trying to harm myself. Because that's what you do when you want to just when you want to go get admitted. And I would go tell them that I was hurt. I wanted to hurt myself just to rest because I didn't want to be out. I was fighting with it, and it looked like everybody was against me. They're talking about me, and I was telling these people that people was out to hurt me when I got to Appalachia, but they was on their side too. And it got crazy, and so
Whew.
I started crying and confessing. And guess what? Every time I go to Appalachia, I get me a Bible and I get in this, and they'll give you a room, or whatever. I couldn't find no Bible. I couldn't find nothing. I said, "Oh, these people is gonna hurt me, Lord." And I just started praying, and I was like, I started crying. The same man I'm with right now, the same man with right now. I used to be calling him my husband when I was out there because he'll come pick me up. Sometimes I only felt safe with him because I thought everybody was out to get me. So he'll come get me and take me to his house. But I used to be like my husband, my husband, my husband, and it's like I spoke this thing into existence.
Mm.
But when I got clean, February we got married. February we got married. April we was having little Janila. My daughter was having a baby, and we wanted to get the baby. So 7, 7, 7. I have 7 grandkids. So it was 7 years clean, 7 years married.
Whew.
Listen, this is the 7 year right here.
Wow.
I
That's God.
I stopped out. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die. I wanted to live, and I was like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And he,
Wow.
So now, at what point did you give your life to God?
I gave right after, like I had to. I got into a
Wow.
church. I remember going to the same church I got married. Me and my husband got married at. I went to this African church and I started going to church. And I've been saved. I've been saved. I felt like I was saved out there because if I wasn't, I just felt like
Yeah.
I was lost. out there. I used to talk about God to everybody out there in the streets, like, and they used to watch me. Like, that's why I say right now, people don't listen to you, they watch you. Because they be like,
Yep.
she's there with that blunt smoking, and she talking about God. I promise you, I would testify to anybody, even in my mess.
Well,
Mhm.
of course, because you had the encounter with God in the hospital.
Mhm.
So he had always had his hand on you no matter what. He was just waiting for you to get right.
That's it.
Love that.
That's
Wow.
Woo! My God.
777. I don't even know what to say now. Like Octavia, you straight took us on the journey today. Do you hear me? Like we done been through the ups, the downs, the ahs, the what. Wait a minute. Like we done been through
Yeah.
every possible emotion that we could go through because again, just looking at you, you are a miracle. So now that explains Samantha why she said she got the same kind of scar as you. It
Yes.
might not be the
Yes.
same reason, but it's the same kind of scar. And it's just like, oh my
Exactly.
God. Like,
Can I show you all something? Look, okay.
Sure.
So listen, this is after. Remember when they say your life is not out of danger?
yeah.
Yeah.
This is what they were talking about. After that, I went back out there. But do y'all know something? The cocaine was keeping me alive because
What?
I would have died. Yes. So when I was getting, even that wasn't in vain. Listen, you know they use cocaine as a drug. I was shot. You see that bullet hole right there?
Yeah.
I was shot in the chest. You see this hole right here?
Oh my gosh, Octavia.
That's where the bullet went straight through me. So you see this scar right here? That
Oh,
Yeah.
I, that's when I died.
Jesus.
Octavia.
I'm telling you, like it's a no brainer.
So through all this, and you were shot.
Yeah, I was shot. This was in '92. I just had my baby. I never forget.
Adjust your camera so we can see your face.
Oh yeah, it was in '92. I never forget. I just had Jatavia, and I was at a club, and just out there with the people they gambling. It's called the Tree in Miami. So we're under the tree and we drinking and partying. And the doorman, I'll never forget, he was tussling because they was gambling and they was arguing about something. All my friends was gone. They was like, Tasha, come on. I'm like, no, I'm waiting on, whoever win the dice game, being fast. Child got caught up, baby. So the doorman had, he was the only one with the gun because he the doorman. So they was arguing or something, and he took out his gun, and when he took it out, it went off, and I was standing right there by him. Nobody even know I was shot. I looked down and oh my God! I seen a little hole in my little dress, and that's how I knew. I didn't even know it went straight through me, straight through. And I think, and if I don't know, I think it went in right here and came out right here.
Yeah.
If you see that,
Gotcha. Yeah.
so it might have went in right here and came out right here. And oh my God, I was like, oh, bitch, I tell my baby I love her. Y'all get baby. I like it shot me in my heart. They say your heart on the other side,
All the
baby.
others. Everybody just unbothered. Either way, let's not ignore the fact that you just got shot.
What? We ain't
We
gonna talk
just
about that.
we just don't. So clearly, this was the norm in this at this time in this area.
And me, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have a bullet hole somewhere.
So now, one
Oh
thing
my
I do have to
God.
ask this. I know we're going over time, but you made a comment about this scar on your chest. You said the cocaine was keeping you alive. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, because I had mitral stenosis. If anyone know what mitral stenosis is, they told me that I have I had a valve that was not that was so small that the blood was not flowing through. Like they don't even know how I was living. They was like, you like a time bomb ticking, ready to die. They was like, how you even breathing? Believe it or not, because it was, the coke make heart, your heart beat. So
Yeah.
when I would do it, that's how I was living.
Jesus.
Yeah, they
So
don't even know. They say, how is you living? How is you like they say I give you until December. Now listen, this was in 2001. Mind me, 2001, they predicted that I would not live to see Christmas 2001. Do you know I kept getting high? They had tested me for heart and everything because they wanted to put, do open heart. And they was like, if you don't get this open heart, you're going to die. And I was like, baby, I ain't finna get that cut in my chest. Baby, I'm too sexy. Listen, this is I'm young. I'm
Of
young.
course.
And I said, I ain't going for that. And they had tested me at Jackson Memorial Hospital for a pig valve. So I knew about the pig valve. They was like, because you young and you use, I always go to the doctor and tell the truth that I get high, and they knew I was young. And so they say pig valve will fit you because you don't have to take Coumadin. So, if you get the metal valve, you're going to have to take Coumadin. And you're going to have to search for blood clots every week. You got to be at the doctor twice a week, so they could search for these blood clots. So they knew that wouldn't fit me because who going to be at the doctor? Not me, and
Right.
that's what they knew. And so I kept doing my thing, kept getting high. But when my mom died, God bless her soul, she died 2007 of, I'm going to tell you how my mom died of full-blown AIDS. And that was another reason I came out the street because I didn't want to end up like my mom. I know I had followed her cycle, and
Yeah.
I didn't want that one because I watched her. She died at home. We kept her. I brought her up here to Tallahassee with me from Miami, and I got my after she died. She died in April 17th. I never forget, and I got my open heart surgery May 7th because I stopped playing with my life. I say, you know what? I don't want to end up like my mom. After she passed, I went on ahead and got the open heart because they had been telling me since 2001 that I needed that surgery, and they just couldn't figure out how I was still living. And after she died in April and May, I went on ahead and got the open heart, and I got the pig valve. So right now, you all, it's going on, and that was in 2007, May 7, 2007. And how many years that's been?
What's that?
17.
Because those pig valves don't last but to 10, 15 years.
Oh, well, you said
Really?
2007,
It's
right?
14 years.
14, yeah, and it's 2024, right?
Yeah.
14 years, yeah.
And they say
No,
Math is off. That's not.
17 years.
it's been
17
longer.
years.
Yeah. So they told me everything still look. I just did um a monogram where they
Yeah.
edit and everything. So I go and get those results soon so they could tell me what it's looking like. But every day, Lord, it's a miracle. So yeah.
Jesus
Octavia,
Lord.
I don't even know what to say, friend. I wouldn't, I mean, Samantha, was you expecting it to just go this way? Like, I was
Let,
not. I
let
didn't even
me
know all of that. I didn't know nothing about the pig valve. I didn't know any of that. I just knew bits and pieces. Baby, you is truly a walking around miracle.
miracle.
Like,
A
who
miracle.
is who is taking powder and the powder is saving their life?
God take what's the script? What's the scripture, Tisha? God takes the foolish things to confound the wise.
Yes, and he did that.
Because
For
but
real.
that's the perfect example for that scripture.
But
Cause boy, I never.
they didn't they didn't say that cocaine was illegal until black people started getting a hold to it. Remember? It was used as a drug. It was used to help people. It was
Yeah.
used like codeine. It still got that's codeine,
Yeah,
Coca-Cola. All of that got
Oh
coke.
yeah.
yeah.
That stuff make you hyper when you drink
What
that.
I'm saying is, Octavia,
It was
friend,
helping me. It was a medicine.
you is right here.
It was truly my medicine. That's what I would say when I was I need
Octavia, friend. Listen, saints and friends and saints. No, ma'am. You, the very thing that got people out here in these streets losing their life
Losing their
is the very
minds.
thing that saved your life. Like Samantha said, God take the foolish thing
stuff he did.
and he be like, let me show you, watch this, because that's what y'all say.
Let me
But
show
this
you
is
what I
this.
do with it when I put my hands on
When
it.
I put my hands on it,
Um,
like Octavia, even just this little bit, just this little brief testimony that you gave us and that you was telling us, and even you was like, it was like even then you was getting high, still preaching scriptures and things.
Oh,
Like I remember being in Atlanta in the underground. Dude was drunk as anything, and baby was quoting the word like nothing. Like it was coming out like water, and you're looking like, and clearly he was gone with the wind. Like he was totally drunk.
Wow.
But it's just like because what's in you. See,
mm-hmm.
that's the thing. What's in you, that's what's
Yeah.
gonna come out you, and you can't despise your testimony.
Yeah.
You can't play down your testimony because in that you are a miracle. Somebody looking at you like, man, she went through all of this stuff, and here she is, still talking about God because you ain't blame God for none of it. Everything that you went through, you still able to see God in, and that's the miracle within the testimony. It's
Yeah.
like in spite of what it looks like, I'm still gonna give him praise. In spite of everything, because we could easily blame God for a lot of stuff. I went through a lot of things. I could easily say, I mean, well, I'm like this because God just let this happen to me. But it's like amazing how, like I'll tell you, you done been shot. You don't have open heart surgery. You done been bust open from downhill to other hill. You done been on that powder. You done tried crack. You done Molly. You done tried to do your own passing away of the child, and yet and still you done died three times, and yet and still you still here. And how old are you, Octavia?
50. Yeah.
And they told you was gonna die.
Oh,
They
they
told you had to come back. They told you that your valves weren't working right. And but God, like that's literally, yeah. They said, "Yes, Lord, a miracle." That's what Ashley said. Yes, Lord, a miracle. Truly, like
I want to say, I mean, for one, it goes to show doctors don't have the say so. It's
nope.
God. And two, clearly, and I know people say this often, and I believe this to be true, when you are going through so much from such a young age, because all three of us that are right now, all three of us have been attacked from the time that we came out the mother's womb.
Baby,
Okay,
when I
for the
was inside my mama, so
exactly. So the fact is, when the enemy tries so hard to, because they say like the enemy can't take us out. He can wear us out, but he can't take us out.
right.
And so the thing is, there is clearly a calling on your life. There's a reason why you're still here. There is a reason, no matter how traumatic your life has been, God has never taken his hand off you, and you clearly have seen, like, and you don't even know what else God has in store for you. There's so much more that you're supposed to be doing with your life, but you're still like you're still kind of new to it because it hasn't been that long, and that's the beautiful thing because you're only like 7 years out. So imagine all the amazing things that God is getting you ready for, because all that was preparation for what you're about to do and where you're going. So Tisha, I'm done. I don't know nothing to say.
Look, I don't sat back. I'm like, well, go ahead on, Samantha. What?
Yeah, that was the word that he was giving me the beginning of the year. Prepare,
Yeah.
preparation, preparation. Because listen, I've always said if somebody come up to me right now and it's like, I love what you're doing with After the Sentence. I love the name. I love what it stand for. I got $1 million for what After the Sentence. What are you gonna? Are you prepared for this blessing? So God had been giving me that from the beginning of the year. Prepare, and then He just started dealing with me by pick a side because I wanted to uh, follow my baby all around the world. I wanted to be able, I have a husband, I have kids, he's like, pick a side. Matter of fact, I have God. I'm in, I go to church. I have a church family. I have things, my priorities. That's her life. That's not my life. He's like,
Mm.
pick a side. You can't.
You can't serve
And
two masters.
you
Yeah.
cannot you can't be lukewarm.
Artist,
Right. He said be cold or hot.
that's
Yep.
not me. I can't tell y'all that I'm having any other battles but that one. That's the struggle of my life right there. Because as y'all know my story, I didn't get a chance to have my baby. I didn't get a chance to raise her. I didn't get a chance to be with my kids. And that's the hardest thing for me is not being able to go and she say, Mama, come to this, or Mama, I'm a send for you, come. That's the hardest thing for me to say, baby. God is, I told her he was whooping my tail. I said he's whooping me. I can't. I'm over here praying for you though.
Now, does she understand?
I'm over here in spirit, yeah, because I got to lay on my face because she's getting higher and she's getting bigger, and I can't be in those crowds. I got to be over here in the standing in the gap for my
Yeah.
baby. I
So
understand.
But
does she understand that part, Octavia?
Yes,
Does she is
yes,
she respecting where you're at?
she do. She love it, and she tell everybody. My mama say, and don't let me
okay.
get and do something crazy like have a drink. She be like, y'all Christians drink. Like leave mama alone. That's Jesus turned water into wine.
That part. But you know what? Also, because and we had touched on this briefly before we hopped on live, because look at the life that you came from.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
would God is telling you, no, you need to pick a side, because just imagine you go off with her. That was a stronghold.
Yeah.
Strongholds are hard to be delivered from,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
don't want to put yourself back in that position of temptation.
Yeah, and it's and like I say, my life out there in the streets wasn't all bad. Like I had fun. I used to like the life I live. I met, and this is what the enemy wants you to believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wants you to be like, um, and I felt like that's why I wasn't able to tell my testimony really good until now because he wants you to glorify that life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Until I can get it down where I know God is the head and I wasn't what I was born into, but I am who I was born to. Like, God say I have made you with a purpose, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're not what you was born into, but who you was born to be. And so I guess that's what I had to understand before I can tell my testimony because I didn't have no lot of bad times out there. And
Right. Because
that's the enemy in my head, like making me see the good and not
yep.
all the stuff. You almost
And
died.
and I'm still sitting up here like she was violated as a child. She was raped.
And
She
what
done been shot.
none of that
She done
bad.
died thrice. She done got hooked on something that could have took her out, and she's
Oh,
Or
still
saved her.
saying
right. I
it wasn't bad.
guess.
But see, here's the thing though, because I mean, you named all that stuff. I consider that bad. But I know what she's saying, because let's face it, sin is fun. While we're in it, sin is fun.
Yeah.
But the wages of sin are death.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Right. And until
So mhm.
go ahead, Samantha.
and that's why we have to pick a side, because
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Man, Octavia, this was so good. I don't even know. Like I'm still trying to figure out like how we bring it to a close because you touched on so many things that women are going through, not just women, but men being violated, being molested, being raped, being what do they call it? What's the word that they call it? You were groomed. That's it.
Yes.
Being groomed to receive something
Mhm.
as it was not that bad. Because again, it's like you said, the little girl who did not know. So your childhood, your innocence, all of that was taken at
Mhm.
Yeah.
like 8 or 9 years old. And then life kept lifing, but you're a fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Samantha said, there's a purpose and a plan for your life. And so it's just kind of like watching God, from when I first met you to where you're at now, just watching God take your life and align it, and then watching you be obedient. Because there ain't many people, especially if they got kids that's out there, in the entertainment world and doing all this kind of stuff. They not gonna tell their babies they not coming to that. They're not
Mm-mm.
gonna say, "Baby, I can't come," because a lot of people ain't doing that.
Not
Okay,
at all.
not at all. You got preachers who still going to parties. They know they ain't got no business being there. And yet here you are saying, you know what, God, even though I want to bond with my baby, I want to respect you more. So I'm going to
Yep.
sit here. And God will honor that, Octavia. God's going to create those times when it's just you and her. He's going to
That
create
part.
that environment, that safe environment for you because he tempts no man to do evil. That's the
Yep.
word. So God is going to create those moments, those necessary moments for both of you because you can't be in a toxic place and try to
No.
heal. That's not how this works. And because you're not passing judgment on your daughter, you're not telling her to come do what you're doing. You're being an example without words. Your life is lining up with the word of God. So God, there's no way that God gonna bring you through all of that now.
Ooh,
You
just to
done been
leave you.
shot, cut, done died thrice. Okay? This many times. There ain't no way he gonna bring you through all of that and not allow you and your daughter's relationship to mend, but he don't want it to mend on toxicity.
Mhm.
He
Right.
wants it to mend in healing and wholeheartedness, because then that way it'll stay. It won't be like up and down and this and that. It'll be a true healing and a true mending. And then y'all can start a fresh relationship. Y'all ain't got to start from, well, you trying to make up because you wasn't there and
Yep.
she's still feeling some type of way. No, y'all both can come together. And she respects the fact, like you said, Octavia, she respects that you're saved,
Yep.
and she watching you. That's why she called you out. She
Yep.
Yep.
wants you to see.
All
And with you not wanting to go down the same path as your mother, you stopped it. You are the repairer of the breach. So
Mm.
now you got to stop all those generational curses, so that way your kids, your grandkids, and generations to come, they won't know what all that stuff was like. They won't have to follow in your footsteps. They won't have to know it, because it ends with you. So
yes.
you keep doing what you're doing. And even though she's in the industry, there's people right now, I think at least once a month, there's a celebrity that I see give their life to Christ. You just never know. So you continue standing in the gap. You continue interceding for your child, because the word says, what is it? That your household will be saved. I don't remember the whole scripture, but that's for you and your children. So you keep interceding, you keep doing what you're doing, and God is going to do the rest. You didn't go through all this for no reason. You're
Come,
not still breathing and living for no reason. I
come.
love this. I love it.
It's so much confirmation because he told me, he was like, I'll give you the desires of your heart, but you just sit still. We have to be patient. He told
Mm.
me, say it's gonna be so much better. You don't have to be in the now, in the you don't have
Yeah.
to. I'm
Mm-mm.
watch me. Sit back and watch. Y'all just sit back and watch God,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I keep being obedient and just keep, you know, like like I said, I watch y'all and I studied y'all the last two, and especially the one with the lady before, the therapist. I know therapy worked, but God worked much. Oh, He
Whew.
worked better. It take a while when you doing therapy. But God, I use Him for like my. That's my. Listen, He's a living. That word is living, and so it fuels me. It gives.
Her phone went on.
Yeah, she got a phone call.
So we thank y'all for hanging out with us. We thank you,
Yes.
Ashley. I can't really see everybody, but we thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We're gonna get
How
back
I live my life. I
this.
can't make it without that word. That word keeps me fueled, keep me going, keep me energized. So He loves me when I don't even love myself.
Oh,
I
that's
love
that's
that.
that true love of God.
Yep.
Octavia, this was amazing. We want you to be keep up with, keep us updated on what you're doing. Anything that we can do to put the word out for you, don't hesitate. Reach out. And Tisha, I'm gonna let you finish closing out.
Listen, these are what testimonies are about. This is what testimonies and living miracles are about. You don't got to look all the way back to find a miracle. It's one right beside you. You won, if you really think about it. And so
Oh wow.
we just gonna tell
Wait, what
Octavia, thank
happened?
you.
Oh shoot.
Oh, say it again.
Oh wow. I don't know what I just did.
It's okay. Go ahead, Tisha.
We're gonna really just want to say thank you guys for joining us. Join us again next week. It's gonna
Yes.
be amazing, amazing, amazing. And until next time, you guys remember, miracles speak, and you're a miracle. Make it a great day. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.